So before we start this video, go into the description, click the link, and subscribe to this channel. I know you're confused, but just trust me, you're gonna wanna do it. I'm still waiting. Just go to the, yeah, there you go. Click that link and then... Now, if I stay on this side, he's gonna put it in the other one, so I can quickly maneuver my way over there and then save the bet. Listen, it sounded better in my head.
A bit of milk, full fat, which I've warmed in the microwave.
Listen, if she can do it, then so can I. Welcome to Forte Bole. This is week, eh? This, of course, is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer online and on social media during the last 7 days. And what are we going to talk about first today? Right, let me have a little gander quickly. No, not feeling that one today. Maybe a different time. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Shock horror, we start with Arsenal being a shambles yet again. I'm convinced these lot couldn't find a W in a website URL at this point. They were dealt yet another defeat, this time at the hands of relegation-threatened Burnley. Who am I kidding? Arsenal are relegation-threatened at this point. And you know what the worst thing is? Going into this game, I genuinely believed they could be victorious. I really respect how consistently awful they are.
Sometimes maybe shit. Sometimes maybe shit.
At least Aubameyang's ended his goal drought though. In the wrong net, but we don't need to talk about that. Arsenal's first goal in open play for about 67 in-game hours was against themselves. Just deep that for a second. Aubameyang's been going through it, bro. Someone save this man. I'd have aged about 30 years as well if Alexander Lacazette was my strike partner. And I think the fans have as well. This was actually troops at the start of the season. And now he looks like Voldemort.
You're a fool, Harry Potter.
I've had enough. Burnley losing 1-0 at home. I'm sick of it. Arteta, I've defended you, but you've got to go. There's the door. Tala. Honestly, Xhaka, go. Leave. Look what you're doing to me.
I think it would be fair to assume that this guy is not best pleased with the result. Now, this one all started to fall apart when Granit Xhaka was sent off for violent conduct after grabbing the throat of Ashley Westwood. This guy is supposed to be a leader. He was the captain of these lot at one point. Use your brain. You can't just start chokeholding people when you're meant to be leading the rest of the squad. Jordan Henderson isn't going around WWE body slamming the opposition. And on the topic of Granit Xhaka, we got an interesting story from Sky pundit Patrice Evra, who allegedly went to Thierry Henry's house to watch an Arsenal game, only for Thierry to see that Xhaka was captain. He then switched the TV off because he therefore didn't want to watch the game. Thierry Henry was probably at home just minding his own business, and suddenly he's been brought into the fray. Why does this guy just start snitching on everybody unprovoked? He leaked this. He leaked the fact that Wilfried Zaha clarted David Moyes' daughter. Next, he's gonna leak pictures of Jack Grealish with a naked woman on Twitter or something. Wait, hang on a second. Mikel Arteta may have backed Granit Xhaka in the press conference that followed, but it's a shame his players don't back him. Ainsley Maitland-Niles came out and suggested that the players are actually all behind Mesut Ozil at the moment. The young Englishman will never be playing for Arsenal again. Hector Bellerin's suspended as well, so I can't wait to hear what Eddie Nketiah reckons about starting at right back next time. And there's rumours coming out of the club that himself and David Luiz aren't even on speaking terms at the moment. How can you just refuse to talk to one of your most experienced players and probably biggest names in the dressing room? So you're at centre back today, you pagan. The fans refuse to even watch it unfold. Former Arsenal midfielder Emmanuel Frimpong reckons they should just sell Xhaka and sign him back instead. I'm pretty confident that right now Jeremy Lynch would actually be the best on-the-ball player at the club. And after all of this, we got a picture of Rob Holding and Chris Wood stood next to each other, assembling the phrase Holding Wood. Probably a better pastime for Arsenal fans at this stage. Fair play to Burnley though, great result for them, and they even managed to bond with Spanish side Sevilla on Twitter over their very similar victories over the weekend. Somehow, a game between two teams without a goal since 1978 was actually better than the Manchester derby. In 90 minutes, you could have an unnecessary Zoom meeting. You could fly to Amsterdam. You could learn how to play the harmonica, I imagine. There's like 6 holes in it. I could get down and dirty with the love of my life 91 times, probably. To be fair, Martial and Fernandinho were getting up to that anyway. And instead, we all spent it watching this.
Dramatic.
You can't start doing feints like that when you have the mass of a Scania P-Series P360 alley insulated tipper. Harry Maguire was a big topic on social media once again when he decided to get very affectionate with fellow England centre-back John Stones at full time. All of this hugging now, back in my day, if you didn't lose a leg, it wasn't a derby. It was an extremely dull game, but it was also very tame. You're more likely to see Logan Paul land a punch on Floyd Mayweather than a punch in this one. Martin Tyler got so bored he just completely lost his mind during commentary.
De Bruyne, De Gea, De Arby.
To be honest, I'm not really surprised it was a chilled out affair given Edinson Cavani's match preparations.
Edinson has been on the grass, but I will make a decision later on.
I see someone took that trip to Amsterdam then. Everton defeated Chelsea over the weekend thanks to a goal from Gylfi Sigurdsson. But quite frankly, the funniest thing about this fixture is that after all the time away for fans, this poor guy got this as a view. Over at Selhurst Park, and Tottenham dropped points to Crystal Palace thanks largely to some incredible saves from Spanish goalkeeper Vicente Guaita, and some even better faces whilst he was doing them. Meanwhile, in the background, 2 fans can't even see the game. What's going on in this picture?
They got from the 4 remaining games behind closed doors at the back end of last season was against Spurs.
Yeah, no, man, I was just testing you, innit, with that fake run. Don't worry about it, it's called play. And in Tottenham news, Dele Alli has been shortlisted for the FIFA World 11. I sincerely hope he was getting shortlisted for a place on the bench. He posted a pic of himself with the caption, "Who wants a game?" You do, geezer. You haven't started since 2012. Anyway, shouts to Crystal Palace for taking points off Spurs, and to Roy Hodgson as well. I promise I won't abuse him or his Zimmer frame in the immediate future. But Liverpool couldn't even take advantage of it. We drew 1-1 with Fulham. This Jamie Carragher quote aged absolutely spiffingly. I don't think I've seen us play this bad for like 3 years. And that includes us conceding 7 against Aston Villa. But in fairness to Fulham, even without Mitrovic, they looked very, very good. A lot more dynamic actually, maybe without him. Meanwhile, Jurgen Klopp complimented Fulham by saying they're a good-looking team, much like their manager. This is why we lost the game. Jurgen was just staring at Scott Parker for 90 minutes. All right, boss, we're 1-0 down. Reckon we should think about pushing Bobby a little bit further advanced now. Yeah, definitely gonna. Yeah, one sec, let me just... Southampton beat Sheffield United 3-0 during the week. It's fair to say Saints goalkeeper Alex McCarthy had a quiet afternoon, and he was quick to realise that, saying he enjoyed watching the game as a spectator. It's a shithousery award for the geezer. Meanwhile, as I alluded to earlier, it's been a very revealing week for Jack Grealish. It's exploded in a flash. Quite frankly, it's all been laid bare. Listen, basically, a picture of him and a naked woman appears to have been leaked on Twitter. I don't really know how this has happened. My man said Black Lives seriously matter. His next interview is going to be very interesting, to be fair.
Big up the whole island, massive. It's your boy Chatana.
He also found himself charged and fined this week for his most recent driving offence. And when arriving in court, he used his own car as a decoy before arriving on foot from the other direction. They should have known it wasn't him behind the wheel because it actually parked safely. Over at Barcelona, and things are going extraordinarily well.
We are the team that we have created more chances in La Liga.
Antoine Griezmann definitely isn't losing his mind whatsoever either. After this outstanding save from his own teammate's header, Romelu Lukaku was getting even more grief from Shakhtar's Twitter admin. For crying out loud, man. You didn't have to do it to him. Chelsea's under-23s faced off against Tottenham's under-23s this week, and they gave a start to young, promising prospect Petr Cech. They would rather play a man who's already received his pension than give Kepa Arrizabalaga a match sharpness. Forgotten man Danny Drinkwater also played in this one, and...
Oh, hello.
This is basically like your PE teacher double-footing you in year 10. Borussia Mönchengladbach were drawn against Manchester City in the round of 16 of the Champions League. Having faced them twice in the group stages the last 2 times they were in the competition, I think it's fair to say they're not really looking forward to the same again this time. Over at Benfica's Youth Academy, there's some interesting scenes going on.
Vamos rever o lance. Márcio Rosa ali a facilitar. Depois, o que é que terá passado pela cabeça?
Meanwhile, after a West Ham fan account got at the Scottish Premier League for being a farmers division, Falkirk's Twitter admin was having absolutely none of it. They even went back to it with a tweet about a guy pulling a ball out from underneath a tractor. I just love the dedication to the cause. It's another Housery award. But now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Over in Romania, we've got not just one clip, but 2. First of all, there's some very unorthodox goalkeeping. And secondly, Romanians, listen, they're hard-working Donnies, not one to be beaten by some precipitation. Can't lie though, shoveling water away is probably not going to do the job as far as a waterlogged pitch is concerned. Now, would you look at this? Neymar finds himself quite far down the billing here. Doesn't mean that I can't still get a title out of him. Let's go. Nah, but in all seriousness, a very scary moment for the Brazilian this week after a bit of a horror challenge in a fixture against Lyon. When I saw the replay, I categorically thought he'd snapped his ankle in half, but thankfully it isn't actually broken. He should return for the game against Barcelona in the Champions League. He's just probably going to need a few massages from his sister.
Well, you just knew that was going to happen.
Moving up to Scandinavia now, and we've got a red card here for man. We've got the goodest of boys in the crowd in a game over in Mexico. Meanwhile, there's the quite ridiculous story that Ajax forward Quincy Promes has been arrested for stabbing a family member. How badly does your family meal need to go for that to occur? Excuse me, lad, could you pass me the salt? This dickhead, I'll give you a salt in a minute. Now though, it is time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is the segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And you know what Sunday League football is like. Rough and tumble, everyone going in hard. Sometimes a little bit too hard.
Yes, lad, clatter him.
No.
Ref, mate, I've gone for the ball. It's a yellow at maximum. On to the weird stuff though now. Over in Italy, and Roma midfielder Brian Cristante has been suspended for a game for blasphemy. You heard that correctly. After conceding an own goal, he was apparently heard on the microphones next to the pitch expressing a blasphemous statement, and he's been banned by the Italian FA for it. There's the news that Brazilian icon Ronaldinho is trying his hand at music, and that he's set up a record label for rap stuff particularly. Gone from behind bars to spitting bars. I love that from you, Ronald. Over in Spain, and Real Madrid's under-9s team defeated an opposition 31-0 to the point where the opposition physically complained about it and they ended the game after 45 minutes. And finally, last and certainly not least, we have perhaps one of the greatest stories FTW has ever seen. In a non-league game between Duncan Park and Copmanthorpe, a penalty was awarded to the former. The pen is coolly slotted away and the goalkeeper, having dived for it, stays down. It turns out that he'd gashed his leg on a tree stump that had erupted out of the ground on his goal line. The team that was losing wanted to postpone the game. They decided they were going to try and put a sheet over it, like a rug or something. There was bare arguing because obviously that doesn't really fit in with FA guidelines. One defender, whilst it was all kicking off, just decided to spark up a cigarette on the sidelines. In the end, they decided to carry on. The goalkeeper himself decided to carry on and even went forward for a corner in the 90th minute despite the fact he could barely walk properly. This is what football is all about and I love it. That though is gonna wrap up football this week and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at the official FNG on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.